first. Let me tell you what we do to wreck the bubble. What we do to wreck the bubble is say, hey, look how cool we are. We're so cool. You guys aren't. Hey, look at our results that you guys don't have. Right? And we start celebrating our success and tooting our horn about how different we are and how cool that is, thinking this will attract other people from a different culture system. But it doesn't work. What it does is it makes all these people really annoyed at us. And they see it as a threat. Because the virus that infects these people, the virus of low safety, the virus of low trust, the virus of fearing lack of control, will try to destroy this. The killer T cells come out to try to destroy this when we don't get the support from the people we need to work with to make ourselves successful. And then eventually this leader goes and this whole bubble collapses. That's what happens when we try to toot our own horns and we have pride. It's fine to have pride and joy inside, that's fine, but let the other world be the way it is. Not judge them for being different, to respect them. When we respect them, we move to a healthy mode. We say, oh, in our host organization, we're so grateful that we get to do this wonderful bubble inside this host. It's so wonderful we can exist here. Wow, aren't we happy about that? And why would you go around telling other people that we're doing things so different and upset them? That's not cool. We just want to coexist peacefully. That's how to keep your bubble safe. The other way to keep your bubble safe is when the host organization asks for something. Put your hand if you've been asked for a Gantt chart by the host organization, or some sort of structured plan. Put your hand if you've been asked for that. Yeah, okay. When we try to destroy the bubble, we say, why do you want this? What's the value in it? Blah, 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 blah. This is a waste, blah, 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 blah. Right? That's not helpful. Keep the bubble safe. What do we say? We say, oh, you guys need a Gantt chart because that's how you roll. Of course we respect it. Thank you for letting us live inside the organization. Of course we'll create the Gantt chart. And inside the bubble, we put our happy faces and we say, oh, of course we'll happily create it because this lets us have this beautiful bubble. It's like taxes. Put up your hand if you pay taxes. Yeah, it's like that. We have to pay taxes in order to be part of the larger society. In order to have your bubble stay healthy, you have to pay your taxes. That's where all these adapters come in. When this thing says, oh, we need to have these annual performance reviews done, you say, of course. You may finesse it and say, oh, we're going to do it as a team, and then inject some of Agile culture, a different consciousness, a different way of being. But we still respect it. We don't say, no, we're not doing this anymore, blah, blah, right? Of course we have to have individual bonus plans. We'll just make everyone on the team have the same bonus plan, right? You know, it's not about fighting the system, it's about working with it to give it what it wants. That's what we do when we're mature about the bubble. And then people go like, oh, but when we do that, how does the bubble spread? Well, if people like what's happening, they'll pick it up and they'll come talk to us and we'll just tell them and they'll go do their own thing. Or, the much more common case is, this leader gets promoted within the organization and then they have a broader mandate and they can grow it on a much broader basis. Or, they exit the company and they go to some other company and they grow Agile there, often in a more senior role. That's actually the most common pattern. Now, what happens when the leader goes? Well, a new leader is going to come in. If the leader has the same consciousness, the same way of being that can support Agile, then the bubble remains intact. But oftentimes what happens is you have a leader who comes in that does not have the same consciousness. They have the consciousness of the person who is right here. And they bring in someone with that consciousness that's more like them, that thinks more like them. And then what happens to the bubble? It collapses. It collapses down to, you know, these people who might have individual hit bubbles beneath this. And it's hard work being this leader here. Put up your hand if you're in a little leader position where you're holding space for an adapter, like you're holding that spot, connecting you with the rest of the organization. Yeah, yeah. So it's tough, right? It's a tough job because you, with your being, you're matching the energy of this system with the energy of this system. And you get to have the joy and the reward of having something really beautiful happen here. You get to have that reward to help you deal with all this because you're using your being, how you're showing up as an adapter between the culture mismatch between the systems, between different expectations of how things should be done. That's how it's manifested. So let's look at the leader's role in organizational growth. So leaders are critically important. We've seen that. You guys came up with that in the terms of your top challenge with Agile. Edgar Schein, who wrote the book, literally it's like a really thick book on culture and leadership, says this: when we examine culture and leadership closely, we see that they are two sides of the same coin. Neither can really be understood by itself. So this phrase says, when version 1 says the number one challenge with Agile is culture, it's actually saying the number one challenge with Agile is leadership. That's the truth about Agile and why Agile is challenging organizations. How does this work? How do we make sense of this? Well, let's look at your current organization. The current organizational behavior is a result of the current leadership behavior. So we look at the organization, we say, well, to the leaders, and this might be the whole organization, might be your subtree of the organization, your department, your division, your group. And you say to those leaders, you say, well, who's responsible for all the good things that are happening? All the good results that we have. And they'll smile, and they'll say, oh, we are. And we say, and why are we having this conversation? They'll say, well, we're talking about Agile or whatever the initiative is because we're not satisfied with the operating characteristics here. We want to have better operating characteristics. Like, we're not fast enough, people aren't engaged as we'd like them to be, we want to have our customers be happier, right? All these usual things, time to market, all that sort of stuff. We're challenged. We don't have the organizational behavior we want. So we say, okay, well, you want this kind of organization here, this green one, and you said you want it to be faster, have a higher quality product, delight customers more, and they say, yeah, that's what we want. And then we go, well, great. Well, what kind of leadership will there be in this new organizational system with different performance characteristics? And then this is where it gets really quiet, because they go, yeah, to have different organizational behaviors and different organizational outcomes, we'll actually need to have new leadership behaviors. And then they start to feel uncomfortable, because until then, growing the organization, making it more productive, more efficient, having better quality products, was something that the people had to go fix and work on. But now they're in the game. And really the options are, either they can grow, either we can have these leaders grow to exhibit these new characteristics that we need to have this new, more performing organization. Or the other option is, we can just kill this. We can say, oh, you know what? When we said we wanted to have a better quality product and have engaged workers and faster time to market, well, you know, we said we wanted all those things. That's before we knew we had to change how we show up. Now that we know that, we don't want that anymore. Let's do something very tactical. Let's do something very safe. So organizational behavior follows leadership behavior. This is why we see, in order to shift culture, we need the leaders to go first. So go here. So put up your hand if you're on an airplane and seen a safety briefing like this. So what I'm just connecting with you is to the laws of the universe. This is how things are. And I'm just pointing out that when we often introduce Agile into organizations, we don't follow the laws of the universe. The laws of the universe say, leaders go first. They say, before assisting another, put the oxygen mask on yourself first. To apply this in a leadership context is, before asking your teams to collaborate, the leaders collaborate first. Before asking the teams to experiment and fail and publicly acknowledge failure, the leaders go first. They run experiments and they tell people how they failed. Leaders go first. What we need for successful change in culture is not leadership support. It is not leadership buy-in. We need leadership. It's silly that I have to say the words twice. Leadership. This is how confused we are in our organizations and how accepting we are of behaviors that are not supporting what we need for success. So I'll tell you a story of my work as an enterprise consultant helping organizations with Agile. And what I noticed is that the leader's the limit. Whether I was working with a manager, a director, a vice president, or in your world, I guess, general manager, that whatever their consciousness was, that Agile could only go as far as their consciousness, as far as they trusted, as far as they created safety, as far as they valued people's human beings. It could only go that far. And this dream in my heart of helping create high-performance organizations wasn't happening because the leaders weren't showing up the way they needed to show up. And either I could give up on my dream or I could help the leaders grow. So I didn't want to give up my dream, so I needed to help the leaders grow. And that's when I ran into this big problem. I ran into a really big problem here. I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, Michael, are you someone right now who can help these leaders grow? And the answer I got back was a big fat no. I was like, why? Okay, well, Michael, you are a well-intentioned asshole. You care more results than you do about people, and you cannot help these leaders grow. So it's like, ooh, geez, that's kind of painful. So I had a choice. I could either grow myself, or I could give up on my dream of helping organizations get to high performance. So at that point, I embarked on what's now 5 years of intense personal growth, spending a lot of my time, energy, investment, attention on growing myself and how I show up. And I had this hypothesis that if I change how I show up, I could help leaders change how they show up. And guess what? The hypothesis turned out to be true a couple of years ago. It has been subsequently reproven true and true and true again. And other people are learning this model and replicating it and getting their success by changing how they show up to help leaders show up differently and grow to create high-performance organizations. So let's check in with a poll with you guys. For my organization to grow, I can't actually read this, hold on. For my organization to thrive in the future, leaders need to model new behaviors. Let's check in with you guys. For my organization to thrive in the future, leaders need to model new behaviors. Let's just check to see if you agree with this. So far, lots of strongly agreeing agrees. Some neutral, great. When we get some disagrees, I love it when there's controversy. Oh, this is strongly disagree. I'm so excited now. Thank you. Oh no, it's just kidding. No, they really mean it, or maybe somebody else means it. So, again, we started the matrix. You can believe whatever it is you want to believe. And my challenge for you is to hold the ideas I'm sharing with you in your mind as they could be true, rather than discounting them out of hand because they may feel unfamiliar, or dare I say uncomfortable. Okay, wonderful. So we're seeing largely people agreeing with this message. This is great. So if you take this away and really look at this, then you can ask yourself a couple of key questions. Do my leaders want to look at culture? If the answer is no, stop. There's no hope or space for the Agile mindset. And you can maybe just do things in a bubble and hide things there, where there are leaders who get it and have energy. First question, do they want to work in culture? Second question is, do they want to work on themselves to be that change? If they don't, you can also let go of your dream of the Agile mindset in that organization. Two key things to be aware of. So I'd like you to stand up and discuss in pairs. So find a new partner. This is a meetup. We're meeting new people here. Find a new partner and discuss in pairs. How willing is our leadership to lead? seconds. Let's come back to our group. Please take your seats. Please take your seats.
What exactly the role? What they are supposed to do? Okay,
So we saw in our poll that there's an awareness for your organization to thrive that we need to see new leadership behaviors. A lot of energy around that. Put up your hand if you'd like to know what you can do to influence your leaders. What you can do to influence your leaders to model new behaviors. Yeah? Okay, all right. We'll give you a couple things here. So you have some very concrete things you can do. The first one is honor the leader's freedom to choose. Freedom to choose. That means when the leader, giving the leader really the choice to say, oh, it's your organization. You have total freedom to do with it what you will. It's your decision, not mine. And acknowledging that and respecting them and letting them take the blue pill if they want and ignore the truth of how their organization is functioning. Ignore the truth of how their organization is at risk. Ignore the truth of how they need to go first for real change to happen. You can let them take the blue pill and let them have that freedom. Or if they choose to take the red pill and see, oh, yes, I do need to go first to shift the culture, to shift how I'm behaving. Of course I need to model collaboration, I need to model failure before I can expect my people to do that. That makes total sense. Oh my gosh, let me go on this journey to discover how I may change how I show. Giving them the freedom to choose the red pill or the blue pill is critical. Now, there's a problem here that we're attached. In order for you to get what you want of growth, you need to let go of what you want. You need to let go of your attachment to Agile. Put up your hand if you have a sense of your identity as an Agile evangelist. This is a very important part of how you see yourself and show up. Okay, here's the news. This part of you needs to die. It needs to die. If you are acting as an Agile evangelist, there is no hope and no leader will ever take the red pill. When you let that part of you die and grow and look at the larger organizational cultural perspective, when you come from a place of respect, yeah, I agree, chew, this is a big one. You were back to the beginning, like, oh, because your mind may be disagreeing with me immediately, right? I'm just asking you to be a first-rate intelligence right now and consider, could what I'm saying be true? That the key to your success is letting your identity as an Agile evangelist die? It's not about not liking Agile anymore. It's not about not seeing it anymore. It's about not being attached to that leader that you're talking to, that they have to choose it right now. Because when they have to choose it right now, you're like a pushy salesman. Anyone experience a pushy salesman? Yeah? They really want you to buy the thing? Yeah? How did it feel? Yeah. It's like, get out of my door. Like go away. Leave me alone. That's how annoying we are when we're Agile evangelists. We have no hope of success as an Agile evangelist. The thing that happens magically, that when we let go of what we want, it can come back to us. There's a saying like love about that, right? That if you want love, you can't hold it tightly. You have to be prepared to let it go, for it to arrive freely of its own. So let's look at your role. We've already started talking about your role as an Agile evangelist as being attached to only one outcome, to honor the leader's freedom to choose. Let's look a little bit more. Remember, leaders go first? Remember, leaders go first? Yeah, it starts with us. Start with yourself. Mahatma Gandhi said, be the change that you want to see in the world. Be the change that you want to see in the world. Or my version shorter, start with yourself. That you model the behaviors. Letting leaders choose and giving them freedom is one of the behaviors. Letting go of your attachment to Agile is one of the behaviors. When you start showing up a way with it, a more conscious way, when you start creating safety for the leader, safety for people around you, trusting other people, valuing people as human beings, as you start showing up differently, the results will follow, the leaders will follow, it will happen, change will happen around you. The outer world is a reflection of our inner world. When we clean up our inner world and how we show up, results follow. Leaders go first. If you want the leaders you work with to go first, you need to go first to model going first for them. Then they can go first. So this is the message, is to start with yourself, to change how you're showing up, to look very carefully at your personal behaviors and how they're supporting your mission and the dream you have in your heart of helping get high-performance teams and organizations. So you give a choice. Either you can grow yourself or you can abandon your dream, just like the decision I faced. And I know there are a lot of courageous, passionate people here in the room, so I'm guessing what the outcome will be. But let's find out. To have the impact I want, I need to grow myself. And I'm not talking about skills, I'm talking about how you personally show up. So let's just check out. Where are you? So we're seeing a mix. We're seeing people who see that they need to grow themselves to get the impact they want. And we also see some people who strongly disagree, who are one person, two people, a couple of people, right? Who feel that they do not need to grow themselves. So if you don't need to grow yourself and you're getting the impact you want, wonderful. If you think you can get the impact that you want, that you're not getting now without growing yourself, my understanding of reality is different. Okay, but largely we're seeing people agree. And this is the whole basis of the Certified Agile Leadership Training that Ron was talking about, is to help people connect with and really inspire and kickstart them on their journey to growing themselves, to understanding how to engage effectively leaders, and how do we actually help Agile work in the organizations. So I'd like you to get a new partner. This is a meetup, so we're actually meeting people this time. You thought you may just be attending a talk, but no, you're actually meeting new people this time. So meet a new person and discuss, how willing am I to look at my behavior and grow to get the results I want? And you guys are special, so if you want to do it in groups of 3, you can do that, okay? So you have an option, groups of 2 or 3. And of course, these are all invitations, so you're free to do whatever you want anyway. So, who knew? seats.
Yes.
I just love the energy in this room. It feels so good when you guys are up and talking. It feels so beautiful. I love that agile energy, buzz, enthusiasm, excitement. It's fantastic. So I'll share a few more things. And start with review. Because we talked about a number of things so far. So we're all very interested in this thing called Agile and helping teams and organizations with it. That rather than starting here, we know that we need to create an organizational cultural context where Agile may actually flourish. But we don't start there. We actually start with the leaders. Because the leaders are the ones creating this organizational cultural context where Agile may flourish. But we don't start there. We actually start with ourselves. We actually start with ourselves. This is how we consciously approach Agile. Is we start with ourselves to shift how we show up. And when we do that, then we invite the leaders to shift how they show up. Then we can create a cultural and organizational context where Agile may flourish. And then we may invite Agile in fully and see the extraordinary benefits that come. This is how we may consciously approach Agile. It starts with, in everything we do, operating from the Agile mindset. In our behaviors, how we introduce Agile, how we speak with leaders, in everything we do. The challenge is we get stuck in other behaviors. So let's look at the other behaviors that we get stuck in. So let's just start with a confession. I've probably done everything that you're going to come up with, by the way. I've had a lot of opportunities for growth. So I cause damage by Agile. So go on your phones, we'll do this poll, and you can upvote other people's responses. So we'll see if you guys can get all of the things that I've done wrong and use to learn and grow in my career as an Agile coach, working with organizations of all shapes and sizes. So let's start with you. How have you caused damage by Agile? Too enthusiastic, oh yeah. The evangelist, oh yeah. Beautiful. I've done that by telling people what to do. I've done that. This is what leaders do, right? They admit when they've done things that haven't helped. Constipated with Agile? I guess that means being really stuck and not really let go of it? Like, yeah. That's a good one. I like that. So please upvote the ones that you see here. Lots of really great answers. Let's just see what bubbles to the top. Let's see where there's where the resonance is here. This beautiful combined user group of the Sydney Scrum group and the Scaled Agile group. Let's see what's coming up here. Too enthusiastic, telling people what to do, not listening enough. Yeah, I've got a whole career of not listening. I still do it. I still get in trouble with my coach, like pretty much every day for not listening. I'm still working on it, but the good news is I'm getting better. And every little bit I get better, things turn out better. We are right and everybody else is wrong. Oh yeah, like I know the answer, I'm so smart, you guys are so dumb, blah, 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 right? That's a little bit of ego there too, right? Telling others you are doing it wrong. Yeah, kind of judging them. Yeah, especially when you judge leaders that they're doing it wrong. Anyone judge leaders that they're doing it wrong? Yeah, that doesn't turn out so well because they stop listening. Other people stop listening. Yeah. Doing it by the book, yeah. Yeah, the book is guidance, it's, we think it's the rules, it doesn't turn out so well. Yeah, not emphasizing enough. Yeah, not really paying attention to what's going on with people. This is what we do, right? So all you need to do is like make note of this list and stop it, okay? Just stop it! And then you'll get success, because this is how you cause damage with Agile. So we're the ones giving an Agile a bad name. Truth is, I've done this too. So my invitation for you is stop giving Agile a bad name. Start giving it a good name. Stop doing these things. Right? Notice when you're doing these things and say, oh, this is not a good thing to do. Let me not do this. And create a space in your awareness for a new behavior to come in. So let's just check in with what are some good behaviors. You guys actually probably know a lot of these. So let's just check in with you. Real change happened when? Real growth happened when? When did really good things happen? What kind of things did you do to have really amazing stuff happen? So again, please, once you see other people put answers in, start upvoting them. We solve the problems. When I realized Agile works. Bring snacks when I listen. Working as a team. Focus on business value. Meeting of minds. You lead by example. People were rewarded. We were left alone. Right? We solved the problems of the business, I'm imagining here. The problems of the organization. Of helping people get work done. Instead of trying to be about smart or the best way, it's about getting results for the customer, serving the business. Yeah, working together as a team. Brilliant. And oftentimes not just working together as a team within the team, it's about working with a larger system. All the other departments, all the other groups that we need to work with. Brilliant. Listening. Yeah, listening to other people. Focusing on business value. Leading by example. Great. So give us another 10 seconds or so. We'll see if we can break 10. I don't know. If there's anything there that you're resonating with you. Oh, it's working down. Okay, well, maybe we're not going to get there. It seems like we have a lot more agreement about what went wrong and why Agile's failing than what we can do about it. And maybe the challenge here is that, and this is certainly in my career, my experience, and when I've talked to a lot of other people, that we haven't actually experienced a lot of success with Agile because we've been approaching it in ways that are actually not fostering success. Okay, let's keep on going here. So I'm going to give you the #1 secret for helping have Agile work amazingly well in your organization. You guys ready for this? Aside from leaders going first, aside from us growing, what is the #1 trick, technique you can use to turn your Agile initiative into something amazing and beautiful? You guys ready for this?
Yeah.
I didn't hear you.
Yes.
Okay. So let's just check what your reasons for Agile are. Why are you doing Agile or your organizations? Why do people want Agile?